When you choose a hero at the start of a match, you should do so in an effort to create a well-balanced team. Oftentimes, your ability to play your hero optimally depends on what the other team has chosen. For instance, a Symmetra in a match without an enemy Winston is extremely powerful, opening up far more avenues for attack and defense. At least in my elo, it feels quite rare for a Symmetra to go an entire game without the enemy team switching to Winston. See, in Overwatch, your decision to play a certain character for a match is not set in stone. I firmly believe that this fluidity of play is one of the many vital organs within Overwatch's design, and I can guarantee that the devs feel the same way. Unfortunately, switching also seems to be a point of contention among its player base.
Do you understand why we need Lucia? It's not because you're not good at Zenyatta.
No,
it's because it gives you a speed boost, so you get to the site first.
No, but I feel like I need to be Zenyatta because I feel like
also means when we respawn as a team, you also get back to the site faster again. Like you
well,
almost
we shouldn't be dying that much.
By 1.5.
Really? If you're dying that much, that's a problem. Perhaps you should switch.
I mean, sure, that's a separate issue.
My point
right
is
now,
that
right
all I'm
now,
saying is, can you give me a moment? Can you give me one moment? Just one moment to talk.
The point is, we're not winning, that's why.
These players all seem to understand the concept of switching, but their frustration with the collective team results in a rather hypocritical stubbornness. This is due to the fact that this is a team game, and in a team game, composition matters. Well, duh. What I mean is, sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where you feel you couldn't switch, but someone else on your team could. Locking in as a healer and seeing your last two allies lock in as a Hanzo and a Widow can be, well, it can be disheartening. Talking over your teammate and demanding they switch to Lucio helps no one, and let's be honest, no one likes being told that they should switch. There is no fuzzy feeling in your heart when someone rejects your pick. An ally Pharah isn't going to lose the match for you just because the enemy has a soldier. They could play very well against the enemy and the opposing matchup, but it can be very hard to comprehend an ally's skill level even with their statistics readily available. Oftentimes, we are resorted to having to look at the matchup alone when comparing the effectiveness of our team. This is the heart of the dilemma. This is why there are shouting matches in voice, and unfortunately this is something that is part of Overwatch. A Winston is good against a Symmetra, Sombra can eat a Zenyatta for lunch, and there will be times that you feel a player on your team is holding you back. It happens in all team games. I'm also pretty sure that the devs over at Overwatch understand this in some way. They released this game with no limits on heroes and assumed that players would enjoy the freedom and player agency that it offered. They didn't. Now the game has hero limits, but the dilemma still remains. I'm not talking balance or pick rates here. I mainly want to focus on this idea of switching and countering. As Kaplan has stated, 6v6 elimination is the response to creating a game mode that forces you to change pick rate in team comps. But I've yet to hear anything on an arcade mode that restricts switching and countering. What if there was a game mode where you couldn't switch? How would that change balance and pick rates in things like 2CP? Would that calm some of this tension between players? Maybe. Probably not. Who knows? Lastly, wouldn't it be interesting to see if flexible teams have a higher win rate than teams that don't flex? Looking at different elos and sorting teams by their win rate and switches per game would be incredibly interesting and informative. What would that number look like at different elos? How would quick play differ from competitive? I think we can all guess. This has been Regrestic, and I hope all the, none of you appreciated this video. I want these discussions to be a place where I can start a dialogue, and hopefully this has got you thinking as well. What are your opinions on switching? Are you angered when your team doesn't switch? Do you switch? And most importantly, do you think countering has an impact on your overall game? How would you feel if it didn't?